Good morning and Happy New Year again. Welcome to 2017. I know that many of us definitely were ready to say goodbye and adios, goodbye Felicia to 2016. 2016 saw bombings in Brussels and Libya, mass shootings in Paris and Orlando, and much more violent loss of life than any of us probably care to remember. We saw the fall of Aleppo and the slaughter of an entire city. We saw deaths of more people of color, especially black men, killed at the hands of police, including Reginald Thomas and 3 others here in Southern California in one weekend. By the first week of November, it seemed that everywhere you looked, at every conversation to be had some undertone or feeling that 2016 really needed to end already. I don't know what that correlation was at the first week of November. Oh yeah, I do. Presidential election. That election that stunned most in this country. But on top of all that, we could walk into 2017 with fear. We can walk into that seeing that the Donald is putting into power people that are just sickening to most of us as they stand against basically every principle that Unitarian Universalists feel that call us to stand on the right side of history and justice. I know that I myself have posted more than one time on Facebook these last few weeks. I'm ready to say goodbye to 2016 already. As we closed out 2016, we were not only disheartened and saddened by these events, but also by a series of celebrity deaths, including John Glenn, George Michael, Carrie Fisher, and Debbie Reynolds. These reminded us of the earlier deaths of celebrities in 2016. Harper Lee, Nancy Reagan, Prince, Muhammad Ali, David Bowie, Patty Duke, and Gene Wilder. I mean, heck, in The Walking Dead, they killed off Glenn, and that's me. So, I don't know what's going to happen about 2016, but I'm glad it's over. I'm not trying to portray celebrity lives or deaths as any more or less meaningful or impactful to the world than any other lives, than any of our lives or deaths. But I will say that 2016 has been a year that was hit pretty hard with deaths of celebrities that aimed to inspire people and change the world around them through both their talent and their community work. If you are on Facebook, you probably have seen memes with sayings on them such as 2016, you took our prince, you took our princess, and you took our democracy. One person even started a GoFundMe campaign to keep Betty White alive until today. I saw a meme that read, 2016, if you come for Betty White, we will riot. The campaign is tongue-in-cheek, of course, but it has raised almost $10,000 for community theater in Spartan, South Carolina. I am happy to report that at 94 years old, Betty White did make it to 2017. And yes, we are able to say today, everything's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. These are the words that Dolly Parton so eloquently put in her 1977 song, Light of a Clear Blue Morning. And if you were here a few minutes before service, you actually heard that song if you weren't familiar with it. So you never know what you're going to get with me. Sometimes you have to be a little bit early. I'm not sure how many of you were familiar with the song. Anyone familiar with that Dolly Parton song? It's a song that she wrote in 1977, but actually didn't become popular until her movie, Straight Talk, which came out in 1983, I believe. But anyways, I thought that this was going to be the starting point for today's discussion. And I immediately thought of this song when I thought, what am I going to talk about on New Year's Day? The song is set to be a personal reflection for her on her career at that point. This was in 1977. In 1975, she had left the Porter Wagoner show, where she was not well received by the audience. And by 1977, she had her own show, Dolly. It was her first self-produced album, New Harvest First Gathering. The album nor the song did well, but it was the first time that she felt like she was independent and not beholden to anyone else or the past. She felt she was finally free of her past in her career. So why Dolly in this song? Well, the song, like most of Dolly's work in the entertainment industry and her local community, have inspired me throughout my life. I grew up listening to her music, dancing to it with my mother, and singing along with it in the car with my children. She, like her music, is an inspiration to those around her. Her life is a story of a poor child who struggled and endured and achieved great success, both professionally and personally. And today, at 70 years old, she reminds us that we need to endure, and that it is through endurance that we find light of a clear blue day. She roots that endurance in her faith, in her love, and in her gifts of charity. She reminds us that finding the clear blue morning rises with the dawn, but that seeing that dawn is not simply handed to us on a silver platter. Today, she is doing that here in 2017. She is doing it by re-releasing her children's book, Coat of Many Colors, and this time with a downloadable song, Making Fun Isn't Funny, which is a children's song about anti-bullying, and a message that tells children that when you're bullied, you're okay. And if you're the bully, it's not funny. This song, this book, provides, and the proceeds go to the Imagination Library, a library fund that she's building to provide books to children of the Appalachian Mountains, where they are mailing 1 million books every month to children to encourage reading and education. 1 million books every month going out to children who would otherwise not have the access to them. Under her direction, the Dollywood Foundation has pledged $1,000 per month. And I don't know if anybody knows that this even happened, but it's pledged $1,000 per month to each of the families that lost their homes in the November 27th and 28th Great Smoky Mountains National Park fire. Does anybody know that that fire happened? Okay, a few of us. It was kind of lost, right? It was lost in the news cycle. We didn't even know that it happened. But 14,000 people were displaced and may have lost their homes. She's pledging $1,000 per month per family that lost their home. That's an amazing achievement. Something that most of us could not attain. Now, I'm not trying to hold her up on some pedestal of greatness, even though I do think she's wonderful. But I do want to talk about how this type of work she is doing is making change. And I don't know if any of us here can directly have the celebrity or the political clout to make these types of community contributions. But what I do know is that here in this community, we have the spirit to make that kind of change.